It's about to get live. We keep it pretty level, no surprise. Come and listen to the topics busting. Yeah, check out our discussion. Keith Norris and D2K. K-Bump 20 on the MIC. Check our night all the way in Germany. Leveled head, you know who that boy is. When they say live and level, live and level. We on that MIC. Live and level, live and level. We just talking them games. Live and level, live and level. Take a seat and listen up, man. Live and level, live and level. What's up, what's up, what's up? Welcome to the show. This is the Live and Level Gamers Podcast. Episode, what is this? I don't even know what it is. It's 180 something. Anyway, we up in the building. We got the crew minus one, and he'll be jumping in here soon. What's up, fellas?
What it do, baby?
Yeah, we up in here. Jedi Knight is in the building.
Finally.
D2K is here as well. So y'all can unmute. Y'all ain't got to mute no more. But yeah, man, we here. We've been a minute. We here to talk about games and what's been going on in the game.
We haven't talked about the landscape of basketball though.
Bro, I know, man, but
like everything just went down the past 2 weeks, man. The whole landscape is totally different now.
We could dedicate an entire show just to talk about the trades. and nothing else but the trades.
Bro. It's been crazy. It's been fun.
So let me ask this. I know. Well, go ahead and finish what your thought was.
No, I'm just saying it's been the best offseason I've seen since the announcement or whatever they call it. The decision, what they call it?
Decision. Yeah.
The decision.
Yeah, broad.
So with all these changes and flipping, who do you feel like right now? Far as let me do it in two ways, and then we get into the gaming. As far as the duels and then team, not the team. Do the duels. Who you think got the best duel tandem, and then who you think got the best overall team out of these groups? D2K.
I'm saying Bron and AD is best duel.
Okay. Team.
Ooh, that's tough. That's really tough.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, I have to get back to you on that.
Okay. Oh boy, you tripping. They finna get rid of Chris Paul. They finna trade him somewhere. What you say, Jedi? I know you over there, but I know you keeping up.
Oh, nah, man. I haven't kept up with the NBA for, man, over a decade, man. Once Reggie Miller retired, that was it for me.
You're taking it way back there, Jedi.
Yeah, man. This was like early 2000s, man. The 90s was my era for sure. But I will say this though, something must have been going on with the NBA because with the trades and all, it's been so hyped that I've even heard about it. You know, I couldn't tell you like 20 players in the NBA right now though. It is what it is.
Well, I would be honest, I couldn't tell you probably more than 20, 25 because I'm only following the mains. I don't follow the no names, but yeah, they had some interesting trades. That Westbrook, no, not Westbrook, but Paul George trade was crazy. Then Westbrook actually was crazy. Yeah.
You know who I do have much respect for though? This dude that just won the championship in Toronto.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard, man.
Kawhi.
I like this dude. You know,
Terminator.
What it do, baby?
I remember all of that mayhem that was going on in San Antonio, and it seemed like he wasn't built to be taken advantage of. So, you know, people got to realize, man, this is business, and he handled it like a shrewd professional, and I can respect that, man.
Yeah, different type of dude, man.
He's a different dude, bro.
I'm a little salty. I'm be honest.
Because he didn't go to the Lakers. That's all that is.
No, I'm not salty because he didn't go to the Lakers. I'm salty because he held out so long that it felt like it was strategic in the holding out because he left the Lakers almost with nothing to go to.
But it was. I think it was really because he was trying to get that OKC to work that trade out.
Oh, right? Definitely. But that the way he done it left
It did hurt. It did hurt the
Lakers. It
Lakers.
left the Lakers. It would have left the Lakers. I don't know how they pulled off what they got, but I was like, man, when I saw that alert on my phone, I was like, oh, Kawhi, you did us dirty. Anyway, but what'd you say, K-Bomb? Best duel? What best tandem? Best team?
To me, I do want to say LeBron and AD, but a healthy Kyrie and Durant is scary. A healthy Durant and Kyrie is scary, but just off GP off of right now, what everything looks like, I would say then LeBron and AD.
I know.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that once everything fall together and everybody get healthy, I think that Brooklyn might be the best team.
Yeah.
See, I won't say the Lakers is the best team.
Oh no one will. I'm just playing.
No, I'm not putting them down. I mean, I know.
Let me get to my team yet.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, see, I could have said the Lakers. So my best team, the team I think is the best. I really think the Clippers has the best team because even when they had a bunch of no-name players on that squad, they still at the beginning of the year had the best record in all of basketball. And they lost some, but they didn't lose much. And what they did add is incredible. So I think as far as an overall team, the team that played well together, even with no stars on the team, I got to go with the Clippers on that.
Okay. Right now, I think far as tandem, it definitely got to be LeBron and AD. Even with a healthy Kawhi and Durant, I still don't think that's a better tandem than AD and LeBron. But team wise, I think it's between. If it's just looking at paper, it got to be Clippers and maybe Houston. I don't think it's gonna work.
Yeah,
On paper, Houston, but
yeah, on paper, Houston. I'm saying on paper because we haven't seen it in action. I'm saying if I was to go off paper, Westbrook and Harden with that, and they retained all the rest of their pieces, that looks dope.
Wait,
I just don't think it's gonna work.
This guy was also traded from Oklahoma?
Yeah,
I
dude,
thought
it's been crazy.
I thought it was
man.
just this guy Paul George that left.
After Paul George left, the following week, it was rumored that Westbrook was going to request a trade, and they did, and they agreed to trade him. And they thought he was going to Miami Heat, but they ended up working out a deal to where they traded Chris Paul to OKC for Westbrook and some picks.
Well, actually, that may have worked out in the best interest for OKC because it seemed like Westbrook, all he was interested in was triple doubles every night.
Yeah, that's one of the issues was that he was more stat orientated than actually winning. But I'm saying on paper, I would say Clippers, then I would say Houston, then I would probably come back to Lakers. I don't think Lakers is on paper the best, but I think when it all gets to working, I believe Lakers gonna be a problem. But paper wise, right now, I would say Clippers is definitely that defense is gonna be ridiculous. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Beverly.
Yep.
Patrick Beverly, that's gonna be
disgusting.
That's gonna be a problem. But anyway, we ain't here to talk about that. What's been good, Jet Odd Night? Welcome back to the show, man.
Yeah, man, definitely I appreciate it, man. It's been close to a year, maybe. I feel like I haven't spoken to you guys. Well, first of all, because I know we spoke before we went live. What is going on, D2K? I haven't even gotten a chance to shout out my guy here as well. It's been a while since I spoke to all of y'all.
Man, it's been it's been all right. I mean, I've been doing my thing, new job, trying to get business off the ground, stuff like that. Other than that, just keep on keeping on. What's been up with you? How's the baby and everything?
She's good, man. She actually turned 1 year old yesterday. So
right.
Congratulations.
Dude, she is growing, man. It's like I look at her, she's 1, she's looking like she's 5. It is insanity. But I mean, it's a beautiful thing, man. I'm really enjoying life right now. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get up with K-Bomb this spring we had some plans to get up on a European vacation, and I ended up getting massive allergies, and my face swelled up. It was nuts. This is back in April, but
Yeah, it was crazy.
yeah, in due time. But yeah, man, I'm on my side. It's just it's tough to, I know you guys been doing the podcast during the week, but that 6 hour ahead of you guys back in the States, it's killer. Like people who follow this podcast in the States, they're probably like around a 3:30, 4:30 time frame if they're like Central or East Coast. 10:30 right now my time. So on the weekdays it's impossible.
Right.
You know, and even now it's just like once I have my little one, it's just she's controlling the household right now. But like that.
Life changes, bro.
For sure.
Baby is the boss.
They the
Yeah.
boss. You seen Boss Baby, haven't you?
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's that for real, man. That's real talk.
Yeah,
Boss
man.
Baby.
It shuts everything down for real.
It
But,
goes boss baby, boss wife, then somewhere we find our way in it. I don't know.
Sure. I'm finding a way right now to do the podcast and make sure I don't even raise my voice too much. That little girl wake up. we gonna have to all stop this podcast.
I ain't do nothing. I ain't even in the same country.
That's
For
funny.
sure.
But no, man. I know football season. There go Keith. He got his camera on. I don't even think he know. Okay. With you being over there, man, we know you a Jets fan. You know the football season about to kick off. Anything special?
Jets.
Unhappy to your team?
Yeah, look, man. I am a Jets fan forever, but I've been a huge Baker Mayfield fan since 2015. I watched him the last 3 years,
And they got a squad, bro.
I wanted the Jets to draft that dude so bad, man.
Ain't that the Browns?
And
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
I watched the Browns because he's my favorite player in football. I watched the Browns, and I got to tell you, I've just been concentrating on what the Browns is doing. I think they can make some noise this year.
I think they're going to win the North.
They're going to make some noise this season.
That Browns team is looking crazy.
Baker's actually a good NFL quarterback.
Dude, I was trying to tell people, K-Bomb, they were looking at me, oh, he's the next Johnny Manziel. It's like, yo, you know what, you guys, y'all don't know football, man. Y'all don't know football.
I've been hearing people saying that he's the next Brett Favre.
I won't go that far yet.
Yeah, at this moment, because Brett Favre, those are some big shoes. But in terms of trajectory, I wouldn't be surprised, man. This dude, he's another level.
Let me ask this, man. I know Brett Favre won a championship and everything, but I not to take away from his
He's amazing. He was amazing.
Legend.
He was amazing.
Do we overrate Brett Favre?
Nope.
Nope.
Nah.
We don't. Okay. I used to watch him.
If he had a defense, he would easily have about 3 rings now. Easily.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, Ron Wolf, who was the general manager for the Packers during that time frame, he said that he kicks himself to this day because he didn't do enough in free agency after that Super Bowl season to help Brett get back to the Super Bowl.
Okay. So you think he's better than Aaron Rodgers?
Not in terms of actual mechanics, no, but in terms of there's a difference between being a better
athlete,
tactician, or being great.
Okay.
Brett Favre did more great things than Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, I got you. So he in the moment, Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback, but Brett Favre was better in the moments that matter.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, that would, you can say that as well. I think, well, for people who may not have seen Brett Favre, they only know of the legend of Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Or his older years.
Yeah. If you were to be there like in the mid to late 90s and actually see him play,
when Reggie White
one of the things that you would have said was, I've never seen this before. I remember one time, the day that Brett Favre was traded from the Packers to the Jets, I took off of work that day. That's how amped I was, right? Like, dude,
that's funny.
I straight call like, yo, dude, I'm sick. I'm not coming in. There was a preseason game, and the mic must have been really close to the sideline. This dude threw a pass, and you can hear the ball whistle in the air. Like this
Wow.
dude's arm, he had a cannon, but it was one of those cannons that was deadly accurate though. I think it was Robert Brooks that was talking about he was in practices like breaking up wide receivers' fingers.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's the thing that he would tear the webbing in between the wide receiver's fingers because he threw the ball so hard.
That's how they said Vic was too. Vic was like that.
Yeah, but Favre had the. I'm,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Favre. Favre.
No,
is
not
the one
accuracy,
who was-
not accuracy. I'm just
Talking
saying.
strength. Talking
Oh,
on strength.
okay.
Yeah, on
Okay.
strength. Yeah, no.
With Vic, it was more like he had a certain way he threw the ball. It was more like technically. It wasn't like arm strength. It was like he's like Aaron Rodgers, where he threw a perfect spiral every
Yeah.
time he threw it.
Yes.
And it's always beautiful when you're a lefty too. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
it's when
Yeah,
you're a
that's
lefty, he was like the Ginobili of the NFL. When you're a
Ooh,
lefty and
look
you're
at you.
throwing spirals like that. Yeah,
Came
that
man. Came
dude's
on getting
Ginobili,
outside
man.
of this sports talk.
It's football talk, man. My boy Alex Prim, your boy Alex Prim down here, man. Down here hating on the football talk, man. We got to talk about games, man. Alex Prim down here.
I ain't even said welcome to the show, Alex. Now, okay, well, let's get into what we've been gaming on. But that was interesting, Jedi. You might have missed your calling, bro. You might need to be a sports commentator or something.
Or a scout. He could have been a pretty good scout too. You got a good eye.
Yeah, I
Oh, that's
appreciate that. Actually, when I moved here to Germany, they have like semi-pro football teams,
Yep.
and I've been asked, excuse me, to like participate. It's just I don't have the time, man. You know, that it requires dedication,
Yes, it
and
does.
it's one thing to love the sport; it's another thing to dedicate yourself to it. And like
Okay.
those scouts or those people in that capacity, coaches and all,
Mhm.
that is 25 hours a day.
Yep.
You know, you have no life, and I'd rather just
You
sit
ain't
back
lying.
and enjoy
I
the
got you.
sport.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Well, Magic can vouch for that.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, wow. Anyway, let's go into this what we've been gaming on. Hold up. So
My favorite song.
yeah. You know what time it is? It's time for what have you been gaming on? Sing it, folks. Let's go. Let's go. Hey. What you been gaming on? What you been gaming on?
Come on now.
What you been gaming on? I was in the mood when I said what you been gaming on.
Come on, altos.
What you been gaming on?
Can't hear you, tenors.
What you been gaming on?
on?
Gaming on. Gaming on. Gaming on.
For the people in the back, say it now.
What you been doing?
Hey, bro,
Because you know, in the black church, we sing that song for like 6 hours straight.
For
Man.
sure.
There's so many variations of it too, Jedi. D2. So many
bro.
variations.
Hey, you need a Kirk Franklin remix to that, bro.
I had to get my son down here to play that, then, because I ain't that good. But
man.
Jedi, since you've been out the longest, bro, what you been gaming on, man?
Oh man, I would say about a month ago, I finally ended Project Octopath Traveler.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah,
That's last time we
I remember
talked to
that.
you, got that. Show
Yeah.
enough.
And ironically, I had purchased it either it was a month before or a month after my daughter was born. And I realized that when she was here, gaming was essentially it was dead in that regard. It's a 100+ hour RPG. I just didn't have the time, but I was able to actually grind it out sometime in May. My mom came to visit from the States, so I actually had to sleep in the living room, and I allocated the baby's room to the wife and kid, and the main room to my mom. So I was in the living room at nights, and I was like, hey, you know what? This is the opportunity for me to get it in, and I was able to end the game. And
Wow, that's dope.
yeah, outside of that, man, it's just really been like quick Android games. I've been more like paying attention what's been going on in the gaming space. more than actually, you know, kind of gaming. But you know, when I can.
Okay. What's up, Blue Boat? Welcome to the show. Keith, I see you got your mic muted. Are you able to talk? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm be in and out.
All right.
Yes.
I'm gonna give you your spot. What you been gaming on, bro?
All right, man. So if anybody follows me or friends with me on Switch, you're gonna see that I downloaded a game called Magic Cat. Listen, don't hate on me.
Wait, what?
Magic Cat? Let me look this up.
No,
Hold up. Go ahead.
man, Magic Cat. It's a little game. I'm trying to teach my son how to, and here he come down. I'm trying to teach him how to.
You said magic or lazy?
Magi.
Magic.
MAGICAT. Magic Cat.
Okay, I see it now. What in the world?
Yeah, don't judge me. A bit, but really, I haven't really played anything, man. I've been so busy, like with the new job. Been, you know, and doing all this other stuff. So I'm like Jedi. I just been paying attention to everything that's been going on, but I haven't really played anything for real.
Are we good?
Yeah, huh?
Say it again. Somebody said something.
Yeah, it was me. I was asking, are we good? I felt like it was silence.
Oh no, he talking.
He can't hear me.
I can't hear anything.
Oh, you can't hear. You can't hear Keith.
Nah.
Man.
Oh, that's what's going on. Yeah. Keith was talking. That's what it is.
Oh, okay. I see Keith in the room. I can't hear him though.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what's going on? But nah, I haven't been playing anything.
Okay.
I've been wanting to play stuff. My spirit has been wanting to play stuff, but I ain't been able to.
Spirit is willing, but the flesh
is this it right here? Okay, Keith?
Yeah, I see. It's like $1. $1.20.
Like Mario.
Exactly. I was trying to find something like Mario so he could try to learn how to navigate, because he can't even like go left and jump at the same time. So I've been trying to get him stuff to practice with. So I found that game. What's funny is I'm playing on the Switch, but Mario, I feel like Mario price too high. If it's even there.
Huh.
It don't look bad though.
No comment.
I ain't saying nothing.
All right, okay. We see what you on, Keith. We see what you on, man. Meow. Meow. All right, go ahead, D2. What you been gaming on, bro?
I'm kind of in the same boat. I haven't really had time to play a lot of stuff. I've been just my normal, stuff, playing like the greatest game that ever happened, which is you know what that is.
Slime Rancher.
Yep. And that's about it. I haven't really been able to have time to do any gaming lately. Been very busy.
Okay, I understand that. All right, Mr. K-Bum 20, what you been gaming on, man? Minus Madden.
No, man. I started playing Madden about 2-3 months ago.
Nah, you defended it on the Google Hang. Got you.
That don't mean I play it.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, man.
Oh no, yes, I play.
Jedi, you should have saw this dude defending Madden in that.
Man, I wasn't defending.
Oh
Madden.
my God, I had to bring you up.
It got bloody.
Even Jedi said it was trash anyway.
No, and I already told. See, don't start this up, bro.
I'm messing. Go ahead, man.
Don't start this up, bro. Cause I can go in. You're gonna have Alex Prim mad talking about football again. No. So what I've been gaming on. Majority of my time has been spent playing 2K. We just got our whole crew back. So we got all 5 of our partners because some of our partners wasn't really playing this year, but they've picked it up and started playing. So now we can play a full 5-on-5 game in the rec in the park. So that's been pretty fun, getting the whole crew back, getting the headset on, playing to about 1-2 o'clock in the morning. So that's legit. And also I had some teenagers. Had some teenagers from our church come by the crib the other day, and they thought they could challenge me to basketball, and they were sadly mistaken. One of the young child, I didn't have any sympathy. We beat him by 50 points in a basketball game. So that.
How old was he, K-Ball, man? Like,
teenagers. They teenagers.
But that's what I'm saying. Teenagers, 13, 14, 15.
High schools.
Oh, so you talking
I
about
see.
16, 17?
Yeah, I'm talking from 13 all the way up.
Oh, okay. Okay, you hurting these boys.
This is real life or this video game?
This video game, bro. My back don't do that no more.
I'm saying video games. You didn't show no sympathy to these boys, man.
Nah, I
You
ain't
didn't let
show no
them win one
sympathy.
game.
Nah, I tried to make sure they ain't score no points. I don't care. You ain't about to come into my house and call me out on my own video game. Oh, I'm gonna embarrass you. I'm gonna send you back. You might not never play basketball again. I'm gonna beat you so bad.
See, Jedi, this is the type of stuff I used to have to put up with when we was in college. And my first time meeting him was I said I was good at Tekken. And it was like, and I remember it was me, Ben, and somebody else. And they was like, man, you can't do nothing with Kellen. I was like, well, I can't say your real name. Anyway, you can't do nothing with K-Bum. And I was like, K-Bum don't want to see nothing with me. Yeah, I shouldn't have went to his dorm that night.
Man, I was never really good at Tekken either. I used to just spam the controller with Eddie Gordo.
Yeah, that's
really
what we did.
man.
That's what I did. Him and Brent, martial law. But he didn't want to see nothing in Street Fighter.
I don't play projectiles.
Anyway, go ahead, man. Go ahead and finish your story.
People don't understand how good I am, and I try to tell these children that how good I was in Madden and how I was ranked in the top 200 in 2K and playing head-to-head online. Back when I was actually playing competitively, so playing like 5, 6, 7 games a night, I was actually ranked in the top 200 in 2K. And then when it came to the next year, I actually beat the number 13 ranked player on the 2K PS4 server, but PS3 server. So like when I say I'm good at the basketball game, I'm actually telling you the truth. But these kids didn't understand that.
But but on that man, can you beat Snoop Dogg though? That's what we want to know. Can you beat Snoop Dogg?
I don't see the thing when it comes with the Madden, and the thing that why I only got so good in Madden is because I wouldn't cheese. I wouldn't run stuff that cheese against the system that so that wasn't real football concept. It was stuff that you run that not you wouldn't run in real football. You run it only in Madden because the computer or the AI doesn't know how to handle what you're running. And so I purposely wouldn't do that, and I would beat people by playing real football to show them that you don't have to cheese to win. But that kind of mindset can only get you so far. Like if you want to get into the top, because I got to about the top 1,000 in Madden, but I did that without cheesing, without trying to beat the system, by playing straight up real rules football, and that can only get you so much in the video game. So I don't know, those top guys I probably couldn't beat because I don't play that way. And actually, if we want to go back to it, I actually did beat a Madden Pro 2 years ago online. Ended up beating him in a game of squads with 2 other people. So I did be a Madden Pro 2 years ago.
Let me scratch my own back.
Anyway,
to my own horn. I actually scored on K-Bomb before. I mean, I don't know how that makes y'all feel about me letting y'all know. I actually put up a couple points on I feel good about that.
Yeah, but when I say I'm legit, I'm legit. People can think not, but that's cool. That's cool. Come holler at me. You'll see how legit. But yeah, so I played that, embarrassed the kids. That was fun, embarrassed the kids. So playing that mostly that in the baseball game. I downloaded Spider-Man. I installed it, and I don't know if it's my age or I'm just too old. I was like, I don't want to learn all these buttons. I just don't. I don't want to have to learn and put to memory everything I need to do to be successful in this game. And I just got overwhelmed and just turned it off. Man, I'm just going back to basketball. So
that's actually hilarious that you say that, because I found myself at times feeling that way. Like, look, I don't got time for all this, man. I want to play and enjoy. I don't want to feel like I'm taking a course, bro. I just left the world to come here. I don't want to feel like it's funny how that happens.
Yeah, but if I was a kid, I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. Because when I was a kid, I learned every 10-hit combo of almost every Tekken player. I knew all of it. I studied. I read. I don't got time for that, man. I got a job and responsibility, and I don't know. That's me. I don't know.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Yeah, I kind of had the same sentiments, man. you'd be proud of me, K-Bum. I actually went on and charged up my PlayStation 4 controllers. Both of them got juice, but they haven't been used yet. But they got juice.
I was about to say, you didn't play, you just charged the joystick. Get out of here, man.
You know what I'm saying? I made sure if I had the wheel to play, I had some juice in my battery. But no, man, I'm the same boat. I'm simply honest. I Jedi said it better than I could. I got Tomb Raider sitting here, man. And I was playing and I put it down and I've been like, man, I gotta finish this game, but I don't have the want to. And it ain't that the game is not good. I just don't feel like that ain't really the experience I want. So, but what I've been gaming on here, I went out and bought Mario Maker 2 for the Switch. And I'm enjoying it. I enjoy the game. I can pick it up. It's quick. I don't have it ain't nothing but muscle memory and seeing what I can do against these stages. And I'm kind of impressed by the game. I'm impressed by some of the stages that different folks have made. And I mean, the actual game is just Mario. If you like Mario, you're gonna like this. I mean, ain't nothing special, but I'm enjoying it. It actually made me put down Mega Man 11, and I've been on this, and I don't know what it is, but that 2D side scroll experience. It started with Guacamelee when Keith was like, "Man, you need to get that Guacamelee," right. And I got that, and I just got into it, and I don't know what it was. Like, man, dang, I'm actually playing games, and then I went and I bought Mega Man 11. I couldn't put it down, and then I went and bought Mario Maker 2, and I can't put it down. And I'm like, I've done more gaming in the last 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, than I've done probably this whole year.
That's legit.
And
I said that's legit.
Yeah, like literally my gaming was here and there, and here, but the last few weeks it's been pretty much consistent. And I'm shocked at some of the stuff that. And I believe Nintendo, and I was going to pose this question to y'all. Is Nintendo using Mario Maker to get ideas for stages because they have lost their own creativity? And I know that might sound crazy, but some of the stages, some of the fans of Mario are able to come up with are better than the stages Nintendo was even coming up with.
Wait. Did you say Nintendo lost their creativity?
No, not that they lost their creativity.
That's what I heard. No, that's what I heard.
I didn't mean it like that.
Book it.
I didn't mean it like that.
Time is 4:19 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Walk right into that.
I know I did, Jedi. When I said it,
time stamp it on YouTube, y'all. Time stamp it.
I heard it myself. I was like, hey, they gonna use that. But what I mean is, if you play Mario 2D side scrollers, they pretty much follow the same format with the stage design, right?
Right.
But Mario Maker is doing things that break the dynamics of what is typical with the game, like being able to jump in a shoe and jumping in the way that it's just clever. And I'm like, I didn't play Mario Maker, the original Mario Maker, so I don't know how that game was before fans started creating stages. I don't know how the stages were in that game, but it seemed to me that some of the ideas of the fans have found their way into Nintendo's own stage designs.
Companies do that all the time though. Like I've been playing games that I know that where they have a fan contribute, like Tekken did it, where they had a fan create a character for them, and I guarantee you they use some of those ideas for different characters. Like companies do that all the time because when you've been working for something so long, it's kind of hard for you to see outside, and sometimes you need other people input on it. So yeah, they do this stuff. The Magic the Gathering, the card-based game, they do that. They do this designer search where they have people submit all these ideas for cards, for new cards, and some of those cards that get sent out end up becoming ideas for other stuff that they do. I mean, to me, it's not anything unusual that any other company usually does to gather more ideas.
Okay. What's up, Phoenix Star 5000? Welcome to the show. Yeah, I
don't think they lost it. I guess what I'm saying, I don't think they lost it. I think this is kind of par for the course what other companies do. I guess I put it like that.
Yeah, I'm saying, but dude, I'm gonna tell you something. New Super Mario for the Wii U was cool. Luigi. I didn't play the Luigi version, but Mario Maker is a whole nother take that does a lot of stuff that you would not expect with a 2D Mario game. And it just breaks the mold. It breaks the convention. The stages are so different. It's so unique from one stage to the next that it goes to a whole nother place. And I found myself like, who even thought of some of these stages? Who, like this one stage I played, it was a simple stage, but it played against your normal approach to a stage. Like they had platforms that would be invisible until you jump, and you would have to trigger the platform to reveal itself or to materialize on the. You had to hit some switch to cause the platform to materialize. Well, in this stage, the person created it where it's playing against your own instinct. You looking for something to hit the trigger, but it really triggers when you jump, and you just got to trust that when you jump, the stuff is going to change when it's supposed to change. And it was a simple stage. Once I beat it, I was like, man, this was real easy, but it took me like 10, 15 tries because I wanted to pause because it wasn't there. And I'm like, it was so dope. But when I got through it to the end, I was like, I just got to trust that if I jump, it's going to change. So instead of trying to wait for it to materialize, just jump and it's going to materialize in the jump. And Guacamelee had some of that to it, to where you just had to trust that when you jump out here, something going to show up under your feet. And I know Keith know what I'm talking about. And other stages where you had to jump in shoes or you had to, it was crazy. I can't even explain it, but since I didn't play Mario the Maker, the original Mario Maker, I'm really shocked by this game. It's really actually a fun game. I still think Nintendo probably could have priced it a little lower, me honestly. But
because I'm doing all the work.
Yeah, they could have got away with giving this up for $39.99 in my opinion. But it's still a good game. I'm enjoying it. Mega Man 11 is probably that game is hard as heck, but I can't get enough of it. And I'm like, man, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's K-Bomb, you're gonna love this word, nostalgia, or not, but something is going on. But it got me back into the gaming. But that's what I've been gaming on this week. I plan on turning that Tomb Raider on at some point and watching Strange Things on Netflix. Stranger Things on Netflix. So
yeah, it's good. I'm about 6 episodes in. I'm not saying nothing. I haven't finished it.
All right,
6 episodes. It is a really good series. It's really good.
What'd you say, Keith?
Yeah, you on season 3?
Yeah, I'm on season 3.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank God. I was just saying, oh, don't tell me you on season 1 is great, but I thought you was that far behind. Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, I gotta go watch it. I'm scared my kids can't handle it, so I can't watch it when they woke. But I'm gonna get on. But let me also say this. I was going to say something. Who has seen Spider-Man Far From Home?
I have.
Me.
Jedi, you haven't seen it?
Nah, man. The last Spider-Man that I seen was Into the Spider-Verse, which was one of the best animated movies I ever seen in my life. That movie is legit, bro.
The best. Outside of Lion King was the best. You can go ahead and say
that. I don't know.
Wait, did you just say The Lion King?
The original Lion King is the best animated movie ever, bro. What you talking about?
Yeah.
I know
if you put pound for pound for the time that Lion King came out, I think came up. I told you this when we talked about it last time. Man, I don't know. I think this might be the best animated movie ever.
Dude, Lion King wasn't even better than the original Aladdin. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not talking about the new one.
No. I'm talking about the but I haven't seen this new.
Get out of here, man. We gonna fight.
Was that off back in the early 90s, man.
Bro, we gonna fight.
You gonna have a rumble in Europe. Get your popcorn.
Bro, you can't be doing that. No,
it ain't better than Kimba the White Lion.
Okay, King, stop.
The OG Lion King.
Now, Kimber's supposed to be what they heard they stole.
Yeah.
Did they steal it from that?
That's what they say.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's get into this. But Far From Home, without spoiling anything for those who haven't seen, or do y'all care? Let me say this.
Well, the chat may care.
I don't care.
I said the chat may care.
We ain't studying the chat. We studying the folks in the. I'm messing with y'all now. I'm playing. Okay, we won't spoil it for the chat. So Phoenix Star says, "I thought Far From Home was stupid."
Dang.
More details, Phoenix. Give us details. What you think about it, D2K?
Well, I didn't think it was stupid. I thought the movie was kind of a mind trip. It seems like they did, like I said this in a group chat a couple of days ago, that they did with Mysterio. They accomplished with Mysterio in this movie what they failed to do with the Mandarin in Iron Man 3, in terms of the swerve and how you saw it going one way and then it went a completely different way and it didn't make any sense. In this movie, it went one way and you're like, wait a minute, but then it went back to the way you thought it was going to go in the first place, but then it still went off in a different direction at the end. So it's like, wow. And as far as the quality of the movie itself, the elementals that they were fighting, like the fire and the ice and the fire and the water and all that stuff, I mean, kind of like throwaway monsters, nothing special about that. But it was very funny, very entertaining. To me, the comedy in this movie was kind of like the same as in Shazam, where it was like just a constant comedy strain throughout the movie, and it had its serious parts in there, but it really felt more like a comedy than a serious movie. And I guess it's because you have a younger crowd. I mean, he's playing a younger character, even though he's grown, but he's playing a younger character in his movie. So I thought it was a really good movie. To me, what happened after the movie carried more weight than what happened in the movie.
True. That is absolutely true.
Because that left me with so many question marks to where everything that you've seen in the MCU at this point can be questioned.
Stop, man. Don't do that, because I would be talking about this movie all night. K-Bomb, what was your take?
Yeah, I thought it was a good movie. I didn't think it was better than the first Spider-Man, but I did think that it was a good movie. And yes, like, to my point of view, I thought it was good. I liked it. It had its funny moments. It had its it had its comedy, had its action. I thought some of the visuals were really good. It was it was very close to like some of the visuals you saw from Doctor Strange. On the one scene when Mysterio was doing this thing trying to capture, it really gave me that Doctor Strange type feel when it came to the visual. Right. So I thought that was really cool. I thought that was dope. Enjoyed that piece. But I don't know. It kept me guessing because the whole time I was trying to figure out what exactly is going on with Mysterio. What's the plot? What's the twist? What's going to happen? So it definitely kept me guessing. So to my idea, that was it was really good. I think it opens up to a lot of questions, but like I said, we can't really go into there today. Right. But there's a lot of questions open up because of the fallout of that movie. And like somebody was saying, the end of it was some good twist to it. And I thought it was appropriate and kind of moves what the rest of the Marvel universe is going to have to encounter and sets up some stuff in the future. Even like that building they keep referencing to that was finished at the end of him swinging in the movie. They actually had the finished version of that building, which could mean a lot of different things.
And one more thing is that they added a cameo at the end of one. I think it was this. I'm not sure. It was the second after credit or the first after credit that tied previous Spider-Man movies to this.
Yes, yeah, they did that too. Yeah, in a way that made sense too.
Okay. We got to talk afterwards. I might have didn't catch that, so y'all gonna have to share that.
Well, yeah, we'll tell you. You know what it is.
Okay. Far as me, I thought it was cool. I thought it was a little slow at first. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like MJ, not the actor, but I don't like how they. And I know she's not Mary Jane. K-Bum kind of made me aware of that reality. I didn't catch that at first. But I feel like they kind of restricting her a little bit too much from being who she. I feel like how she can act. But when the movie picks up, it's good. It's good once it picks up, and it's fun once it picks up. But it took a while to pick up for me, a little longer than it should have took to pick up. But outside of that, I like what they did with Tony Stark and his how they dealt with his death and all that. I like how they played off of the end game situation, how things ended with Thanos and all that. I like how they played that into the movie. The scene where they was playing remember they was playing the music, Whitney Houston.
yeah, that was
that was kind of dope and funny, that little part. But overall, I enjoyed it. I'll give it probably a B minus, C plus in that area, somewhere around there. Definitely enjoyed it. Looking forward to seeing where the MCU goes from here. I started actually y'all was talking about Shazam. I started it last night and I fell asleep, so I got to start it over. So anyway,
you didn't watch it all? You've never seen it?
No, I haven't seen Shazam. Remember, we was going the 5-finger discount route. Remember, I ain't buying it.
I thought you seen it.
No, I hadn't seen it. No, I'm gonna watch it in here in a second.
Okay.
How you say that? Dark Leon, is that how you say that? Lenny.
Dark Lineal.
Lineal. Okay.
Simzam.
Simzam, welcome to the show, bro. Yeah, change his name on it. Anyway, let's get into these topics. So, ain't a whole lot, but so Nintendo basically lied about. Is that a good way to start it? Is that a good way to start it, y'all?
Yeah,
Nintendo basically lied and told us a good bold-faced lie, which they do and prone to do, about the fact that there was no new Switch coming, and literally a few months later, we get the Switch Mini, which is aka the Switch Lite, which was the worst kept secret in all of gaming. And I want to get y'all thoughts, and I'm gonna jump over to Jedi and get his thoughts on it. Jedi, what do you think about the Nintendo Lite?
I don't like it.
You don't like it? Go ahead, take over.
I think as a device it's cool, but it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. You can't have a Nintendo Switch that doesn't switch. That is the whole concept of the Nintendo Switch. You can have iterations of a product, but you cannot fundamentally change what the product is, while at the same time calling it the product, even though you're calling it a light version. That's like coming out with a Nintendo 3DS and then coming out with another new 3DS Lite, but it ain't 3D. Now, granted, Nintendo did that with the 2DS,
Right.
but they called it a 2DS.
Right.
So it wasn't really the same product. It was a lighter version of that product, but it was clear that this was the dual screen, but without 3D. This is called the Nintendo Switch Lite, but it doesn't switch, and ultimately my real gripe with this is that I think that Nintendo should have waited another year and then gave us a more powerful Switch. And I feel like Nintendo released this device and it's to gain more funds. There is no reason to have this device.
Ooh.
K-Bomb, love that. Look at this B2K. K-Bomb is
starting fires.
Ooh.
Missiles.
Alex said you could switch the game cartridge. Okay, so Jedi says He doesn't like it because it's not, because you take what makes the switch out. And I kind of see that point. We're gonna get into this. Who I want to go to next? I know what K-Bun gonna say, so I'll offset K-Bun with Keith and then come back. Go ahead, Keith.
I'm coming. Let my son go outside. Go ahead, go outside.
Okay.
All right. So everything Jedi just said, 1000% true. Personally, for me, I don't care for it as well, but also understand that it's not for me and it's not aimed at me. So my only thing about it is, as long as they can still play Nintendo Switch games, I'm all for it. I'm just glad that they didn't say, well, we're going to have separate games over here, even though they said there's portable version games. I didn't even understand that because I thought all of the games were portable. But
with Nintendo like this. Go ahead.
But I get it, you know, a cheaper version, because like I shared with you guys in the post, there was a girl who was completely against the Switch. She did not want it. She did not like it. And then she was always like, I don't care about the docking. I don't care about any of that. I just want to play these games and be able to play them on the go. And it's just perfectly that Nintendo's doing this right before Pokemon comes out. And I get the marketing. I don't really care for it. I think it's kind of silly, but I know it's going to kill in the market. I don't understand the whole it's better for kids when you could just teach them how to use a regular Switch with the Joy-Cons on it. I don't know. I'm with Jedi on this, but I also don't really. It's not for me, and I can accept that, and I can move on from it. But on the other end of the spectrum, I know we're not gonna get into it. I hope if they're doing a Lite, they're doing the XL. So, okay. And I know that this refresh was, you know, to get a better, was it a better CPU or GPU? So it's gonna be a lot more efficient than the original Switch. And if they do a original Switch refresh, then you're gonna see a better battery life and all this other stuff, and just better cooling and all the other stuff. But I want an XL, man. If you can give people a Lite, give me an XL. So.
Okay. D2K.
I can't believe that I'm the guy that's actually gonna be in defense of this console for Nintendo. I mean, sort of.
Right.
Of course, you know, I have no use for the Switch at all, so just leave with that. I'm not a portable gaming person, but I understand the reasoning for them making this console, because the Switch is rather delicate. It's not something that you can drop on the floor or kick around or stuff like that and expect it not to break. Traditionally, Nintendo's consoles and their hardware have been very durable. But you know, the Switch is something that you just have to treat it with care. And I think that there are a lot of parents out there who probably did not buy a Switch for their children because it's like, look, this is $300. I'm not gonna go out and buy another one of these. You drop it or you step on it or something like that. You just SOL. You know, but from what I can see from the construction of this Switch Lite, it looks a lot more durable. It looks like the material is more durable. It looks like it was built specifically for the possibility of, you know, the normal wear and tear that kids will give a console. If you think about it, when they released the 2DS, the 2DS was a little bit sturdier than the original 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
So the cheese wedge that they call it. So from that standpoint, I can understand why they would want to release that, especially if you're going to bundle it with a Pokemon that's coming out or releasing it around the same time. That makes sense. As far as the innards and the hardware, we've known that the actual Tegra X1 chip had a fatal exploit in the architecture, which allowed hackers to homebrew it fairly easily. And Nintendo, they are the biggest, you know, advocates against piracy of any of the companies that are in the gaming industry. They can't stand it, and they won't stand for it. So they definitely were going to fix that problem. And I think that they knew that this was in there even before they released the Switch, but they were in such dire straits with the Wii U that they couldn't wait until NVIDIA fixed it to release the Switch. They said, just go ahead and release the Switch as it is and we'll fix it later. And that's pretty much where we are right now. This Mariko chip, which ironically is interesting because the actual Tegra S1 is called the Logan chip and this is called the Mariko chip. But this chip is supposedly a little bit more efficient than the one that's in the regular Switch, but there are things that they're doing to actually limit to what it could actually do. Mm-hmm. And I think that this particular chip is going to be used in the next iteration of the Switch. And I don't think it's going to be a quote-unquote Switch Pro. I think what you're going to see is what you see in the PlayStation 4 Slim and the Xbox One S, or going back to the Nintendo handhelds with the DSi or the new 3DS, where it will be a little bit more powerful to where certain games that were kind of shaky will run perfectly smooth now. You get better resolution in certain games as you didn't before, and it'll clean up some other stuff that are problems with the original Switch. And I don't think it'll be like okay, here's the new and improved Switch. I think they'll just fade out the Tegras that they have now and replace them with this newer chip. So that way, when you buy a Switch from the store, it'll already have this in there. You'll have the benefit of that versus, the previous Switch.
Let me ask this, Jedi. D2. Didn't NVIDIA have another chip that was already improved from the Tegra?
No, the Tegra X2 was never designed for something like this. That was designed for like artificial intelligence and cars and stuff like that. So
I'm just curious.
A lot of people were hoping that would be inside the Switch, but it was never designed for anything like that. Okay. This chip is an iteration of the Tegra X1, but it's a better version of it. Okay. And Nintendo did actually file an FCC claim, so that was just basically them asking permission to alter a product that they already have in a marketplace. And they called for them to have a different type of memory and a different type of SoC. So basically what they're saying is that we want to change the Switch, but we don't want to make a brand new console. So whatever that is, more likely is an improved version of what we have, to where, like I said, it'll have more memory. They could easily put more RAM in the thing, but it'll have more memory and there'll be slightly improved processing power, but it won't be anything to shout about. It'll just be a better version of what you already got.
Okay. Unfortunately, I feel like that's the true D2K, but I want a dream.
All right, K-Bomb, come on with it.
So what's the question? Go make sure I'm answering the question correctly. What is the question?
What is your thoughts about the Switch Lite?
Okay, I'll give you my thoughts, since you've been coloring my thoughts the whole time.
I have not. I haven't colored your thoughts. I haven't said anything about your thoughts. Go ahead.
Whatever. So I think for the Nintendo Switch, the Lite. So on the first part, for the first part, I do stand with Jedi when he says you're calling this Switch without switching. And I believe it's pretty much all done for brand, just to keep it branded. But I do think there are going to be people who are going to be uninformed buyers who are going to buy the Lite because it's cheaper and then not understand why they can't hook it up to their TV. Mm-hmm. Completely understand that. And I don't think Nintendo is really going to go out of their way to notify those people ahead of time to saying, hey, this ain't that Switch. So because people will see that, oh, this is cheaper, I'm gonna get this for my kid, and Johnny's gonna be like, Mom, I can't plug to the TV, anyway. So I from that I kind of stand with Jedi at this point that, but why are you kind of creating this, because blah blah blah. To me, I would have thought I would have been A-okay with the product if it not A-okay. I would have had less to say about the product if it did have the TV out, because then you're still allowing it to function very similar to what it was beforehand, and they can still do the Switch for which it was named after. Seeing that, they took a lot of features out of this. They took out the TV. They took out the detachable joysticks. It is smaller on a smaller scale.
They
HD
also
Rumble's
took out
gone.
the HD Rumble. Yeah.
The Rumble, there we go. The Rumble was taken out. And those were really really big features that Nintendo pushed very early on. So it kind of made me say, well, what kind of identity does this thing has? Is it just because it's smaller? Is that its only identity, or just because it's cheaper? So I went back and forth with Level for a long time with this. Um, and I still kind of stand my stands. I've changed it a little bit, but I still stand my stands. For me, this is a very not very. I won't say very. This is a limited product, which means that the audience is shooting for is a limited audience. I think. But I can completely wrong. My numbers could be off. It can sell through the roof. It can make millions, whatever, 100 million. I don't know. But looking for what it is and what it can do, I see where this fits best. And obviously, it's not the home console crowd. Obviously, it's not for that person who wants to play on their TV. That's clearly obvious. But for those who are begging for a better version of their 3D, or a a home console version of their portable device, this is a better version of being portable. It's just portable more. I think Cheat said that. Uh, even more
Portable
portable.
more.
But
Oh, man, we got to coin that.
even
Dude.
though the Switch itself was already
Oh my
portable,
God.
it's
Yeah.
portable.
It's more
Uh,
Oh man.
the thing is, there's not too many things that this Switch does that the OG doesn't do, and that's kind of my main complaint with that, is that I don't see the full head-on benefits of this, because it's not like you're going to just shove this in your pocket either. I mean, you have the
Right.
little nubs from the joystick that's going to stick out. You can't just shove that in your pocket. Uh, but it is portable. So I see that. And I see this for fits best for homes where there's already a Switch, and you have a kid. You like, here you go. You can play on this instead of hogging my TV or playing with my Switch, and so you can, it'll be less likely for you to break it. So here you go. But a good strategy is not to be, force people to buy two systems. The best strategy is to get people to go out there just to buy it. So I see this fits in the 3D, the mobile audience, those who have 3DSs and they want to play Switch games, which they probably already maybe have a Switch. I don't know. But on that scale, I do see it. But I do think the $100 is huge, because if this was $50 less, I don't think this would be a very bad product. I think $100 does make a bigger difference. But for what I see, I think the majority, I really think that OG is still a more superior product, because the fact that it can switch, which is what its namesake is for. So I don't know. This thing may sell millions. I mean, I completely wrong. I don't run a business. I don't make those decisions. But for me, it's just hard for me to completely see where this all fits, where the OG just does the same thing that this is doing. I don't really see, other than the price tag, where this is actually a much better benefit towards your gaming. So that's my stance.
Okay. Welcome to the
Can I?
show, The Truth. Now you got a response to that. I was gonna give my take, but I throw it to you. You can go now. It don't matter.
Yeah, can I actually follow up on what everybody said? Because as I'm listening to what everybody has said, I've even gotten more ammunition for my gripe. Um, the Switch Lite actually limits your gaming collection, or the ability to access a wide variety of games. Me and D2K mentioned when K-Bomb was speaking about the HD Rumble not being there. And this is a massive problem. Uh, K-Bomb stated that it could have consumer issues, like people may buy the Switch Lite thinking that they can hook it up to their TV. But that's just one aspect, right? But what happens when uh, parents or consumers go and they pick up the Nintendo Switch Lite, and then decide that they're going to pick up a game like Mario Party, a massive mega hit as a Nintendo product. And then they get the game, and then they realize that they can't play. I have Nintendo Party, and you know what you need for those? You need Joy-Cons.
Right.
And let me tell you what I did when I purchased this game. I had purchased like these Super Nintendo controllers, and they were like extra controllers that I can pass out when people are, at the house and we want to, play something like a Mario Party or, Mario Kart. And then I realized that I can't use those controllers because it's required that you have Joy-Cons. So this Nintendo Lite means that you cannot purchase this game because you can't use it. It's the same thing with the Nintendo with 1-2 Switch. One of the biggest things, and I gotta admit, man, sometimes Nintendo does it to themselves. A lot of times, us Nintendo fans, I don't think that us collectively have been overly biased with Nintendo. I think that this podcast and the people who participate are pretty straightforward. Yes, we are fans, but we're not fanboys, and we let Nintendo know about their crap, right? And this is just another example. You make technology, the HD Rumble, and you make this one of your marketing aspects to promote the Nintendo Switch, and then the very next iteration of the Switch, you remove it. Then what was the purpose of even implementing or creating that technology to put it in these small Joy-Cons, which spiked up the price of a portable console to begin with when it initially launched? Now you're gonna have a light version that's only $100 less because it doesn't have HD Rumble and a plastic backing that you hide behind your television to connect it to your TV, only to tell me that now certain games that I may want to buy, I can't even buy because you've just limited me by keeping the Joy-Cons connected to the portable. It's like you got to make up your mind. Either you want something that is for the house and on the go, or you want a strict portable device. The Nintendo Switch Lite is irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
Well, I'm gonna stop you there, Jedi. They did kind of cover all bases. Yeah, I'm gonna walk out the way so you can scream mama and daddy. They did try to cover all bases. They already kind of got in the way of that and said that they didn't that they told you that from the front. And then I think in the little, it wasn't even like a direct, but in the little direct, he mentioned on the back of it to make sure that they look for those portable games. And I think 1-2 Switch is one of the games that he brought up that wouldn't be playable. However, you still can play it because you can still buy external Joy-Cons to hook up to the Switch Lite. So you can still do it. It's just not as good as just buying the original one. But go ahead.
But think about it. If you have to buy Joy-Cons, then just buy the Nintendo Switch.
Let me say this. Let me throw this out. Hold up. Bad Latency, what's up? Welcome to the show.
That's a good point. That's a good point, though. Hold on, before we hop on, if you're going to buy the Joy-Con, just buy the OG anyway. That's a good point.
It's true. That ain't no argument.
I didn't think about that.
I'm gonna say I'm on the side with D2 in the sense that because I don't care. When I know this is gonna sound, I did not care about this thing. Now I don't care about the Lite. It serves me no personal benefit. It does nothing for me. It doesn't get me excited. It doesn't get me hyped. If they announced it, if they didn't announce it, I could care less. That reason the way that they announced the show that they ain't really tripping off of it as much. I think it's for a certain sector of gamers and a certain group of parents who have yet to buy their kid a Switch because, like my kids, I know for a fact if I gave my kids my Switch, I wouldn't have no Switch anymore. And this would be perfect for my 8-year-old. And then I know other straight portable gamers who this would be perfect for. They're like when D2, I think it was either D2 or Keith said they had a friend who was opposed to the Switch until they saw this. So Nintendo knows a market out here for it, just like I thought, and I'm gonna be honest, I thought the 2DS was stupid. Thought that was the stupidest thing ever. It looked like a piece of bread, and you took the actual I was offended by the 2DS. I was offended by the design. I was offended by the name. You made another DS in another form. That's what you did. You basically gave us a DS without the clamshell, and you took the 3DS out. And I was like, man, this ain't gonna sell to nobody. And lo and behold, it sold like hotcakes. So it's the Lite doesn't do anything for me as a gamer. I wouldn't buy it because I want, and I agree, they maybe should have gave it a distinction outside of just the Lite, because it makes it seem as if this still does what the OG does. They should have maybe said, call it the Switch Go or something to show that this is for portable.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
It's
crazy,
just
though.
it upsets me what they did, man. I'm sorry. I don't want to cut you off. Continue, and then
I'm saying I get you, and I understand. I understand some of the complaints. I just get that this ain't for us, and I ain't defending it because Nintendo could have probably done a better job of how they done this, but maybe they should have retained the dockable aspect. But then that would have cut into people buying the actual OG Switch. It is irrelevant in some factors. I can't lie. I like when K-Bum was raising the argument, I wasn't arguing again. I told him I agreed with him. But I also know that there's an audience out here that's going to eat this up.
And he also just liked to argue with me because I said the word Nintendo.
Yeah, that too. That's true. That is absolutely for sure true. But I'm going to sit here and be honest. It is kind of irrelevant, but it's not at the same time. So I'm kind of in the boat with D2K and Keith, but I understand where Jedi coming from, and I understood K-Bum argument on the Hangout. Go ahead, Jedi. You were saying something.
Yeah, just real quick. It wasn't like, I understand your position with the 3DS and the 2DS, and I can understand Nintendo's purpose for the 2DS, especially with it was causing eye strain and with some issues, and they can get more power out of it. And there was a lot of people who just simply had the 3DS and never even used the 3D aspect of it, right? With the 2DS, however, it was I never it's rare that I feel that when Nintendo creates a product that the sole purpose is just to dig in the consumer's pocket. And with the Switch Lite, it just felt like you're just digging in people's pocket. That is what upsets me, and that's why I'm so meticulous on the issues with this portable device. It's just when I seen it, it disgusted me. I was a bit disappointed by Nintendo for even doing this, And also, I know it's a bit of a bias as well because I really wanted them to wait it out and just get a more powerful version instead of getting what we ultimately got. But even so, man, when I seen this Nintendo Lite, I kind of like threw my hands up and was like, this isn't for me. It's not for any of us. But even with that said, it still feels like they're just digging in the pockets.
I have something to add. Now, throughout history, Nintendo has always made revisions to their portable consoles, going all the way back to 1980 when they released their original Game & Watch. I mean, you had several revisions of that. You had the regular Game & Watch, you had the tabletop Game & Watch, you had the panoramic Game & Watch, you had the flip-top Game & Watch, which was the precursor for Nintendo DS. Of course, and then brought in the Game Boy. You had the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Advance SP, Micro, blah, blah, blah. So in the recent years, what we've seen is Nintendo would release a light version or a smaller version of the portable console, then follow that with a bigger version or a more powerful version later. I think that it would be a mistake for them to try to make a quote-unquote Switch Pro because it doesn't get them anywhere in the grand scheme of things. If they're just saying, forget about Microsoft and Sony and Google, we're just in our own space, then from that standpoint, it would make sense because every other manufacturer releases more powerful and efficient versions of the product they just released, either annually or semi-annually. So from that standpoint, okay, well, it makes sense if they made a more powerful Switch, even though it's still hopelessly behind Scarlett and PS5 and all that. They're not concerned about that because they're not competing against that. But we all know better. They are competing against that. So it would make sense for them to do what Iwata initially said this generation was going to be about Nintendo, and that was to have a family of devices that share the same common architecture or share the same operating system. It would make sense to have a Switch Lite, which is a dedicated portable, a Switch, which is a hybrid, best both worlds, and a dedicated home console for people who want that. That way, everybody gets what they want. You don't have to say, yeah, but war. You eliminate all that. If you want the portable only, you have that. If you want the best of both worlds, you can have that. If you want a home console, you have that. It doesn't have to be as powerful as Scarlett and PS5. Just a powerful home console, something that gets them in that space. You see what I'm saying? So that way, Nintendo fans that want that can have it. If they don't want it, they don't have to get it. But you're not alienating anybody. And that's what I hope that this signifies with the Switch Lite. That they are saying, we're going to do what we said we're going to do in the first place, which is give everybody something.
So this kind of pivots us into my second discussion, Nex Gen, and what do we expect with Xbox, Scarlett, PlayStation 5 on the horizon, and we don't really know what's coming from Nintendo when it comes to Nex Gen. D2K kind of articulated a possibility. I hear somebody want to come in, kind of piggy off of what D2K just said with the Switch and possibly going with Iwata's original vision for multiple devices, same architecture, same family. How do you see the next generation panning out with all the companies? Jedi, whoever want to go.
Yeah, I just want before we go deep into that, I just want to say that's what I wanted. That's what I was saying with a Switch XL. I wasn't actually meaning like a Switch that you could take with you on the go. I think the OG Switch should be the one that bridges the gap between both those worlds. And then, like you said, like D2K just said, the Switch Lite is the portable only, and then you got the other one that just sits at home. I would love to have one that sits at home, but I want my games to be able to communicate between all three devices. But I'm gonna pull back because I got my kids in here, so Jedi can go with that, and then I'll come back in.
Okay. In terms of next gen, I'm concerned about Nintendo, not for the reasons in regards of Nintendo Lite, but it seems like everything is going to be about service, providing a service for their consumer. So what we see with Microsoft adding like a online environment or something like Stadia, and then having their powerful Scarlett version, and then
cloud-based gaming, you mean?
Yeah, cloud-based gaming, and then Sony reaching out to Microsoft to kind of implement certain things in that aspect as well. Meanwhile, we have Nintendo that has their online service that is, I mean, it's borderline. It's worse than the Xbox 360 generation.
It's trash.
It's trash, bro.
It's trash, man.
So it's not just about the power of a console. It's about providing a service such as a cloud-based service. You know, something that's fundamentally sound. It has a foundation, and then it's been built upon throughout generations. It's like with Microsoft and, you know, and their Ethernet connection with the OG Xbox, and then bringing in Xbox Live with the Xbox 360 up to what we see today. There's been levels to what they've been doing, and Nintendo, they don't know what they're doing. You know, I would have appreciated if they just allowed the online service to remain free on the Switch, because in all honesty, man, there is most of us who have Switches, we paid the $20 for the online service, and the Nintendo games that they release to us every month, who the hell even plays it? It's like nobody cares about those games. You know, it's they don't know what they're doing, and in that respect, I'm concerned about Nintendo, because now it's not just a generational leap issue. It's that plus a service issue, and Nintendo, they're just not there.
And that kind of goes into we kind of tackling two topics at once, because I did have the question about Miyamoto talking about the online service being okay, and I can't remember his full quote, but there was stuff that they have yet to reveal about it that they haven't perfected, and I just think to me, I'm just gonna be.
Boy, that's Trump talk. We got big stuff. You just haven't seen it.
Yeah, I feel like Miyamoto. I respect what he's done for Nintendo and his legend and all that, but to me, Miyamoto be just saying a bunch of crap that just to say stuff. Now, if they are working on stuff behind the scene, Jedi right. They should have kept the stuff for free until they worked out all that stuff and then gave us all that stuff into the package to make it be worth the 20 or whatever else they might charge for it. Yeah. It definitely ain't worth $20. I only got it because that's the only way you can play online. So I wasn't hurting to play the 20, but like Keith, I feel why Keith taking the stands, and maybe we all should have took the stands and said we ain't buying this crap, but I also want to play online. So I went on and gave the $20, but I don't play none of them NES games and have no real desire. I mean, it's
So
maybe one or two.
What you playing online? What you playing online though?
I played like Mario Maker. I played the online, the stages that they made. I play Mario Kart online. My daughter plays it online, and what else I play up there? There's a few other titles I got up there that I play online, but so there's a few. I mean, yeah, I to me it's not $20. I ain't complaining about $20, but it's sad to say it really ain't worth the $20. That's sad to say, but it's the truth. Go ahead, D2. You was to say something.
Well, I mean, you know, I was kind of having a conversation in the group in the chat here about, you know, and it kind of plays into what you were saying about the worthless online service. You know, them charging you $20 a month just to be able to do what you're able to do for free, right, for the past couple of generations, and their only caveat, their bonus is say, oh, you get to play these Nintendo games every month, which you can't own. You just rent them for a month, and it's not even the same games every month. But I'm looking at my phone here, and I have every single Nintendo game that's ever been made for the NES on this phone. 130 megabytes. There is no excuse for Switch owners to have to pay penny one for a nary Nintendo NES game on your Switch. Period.
Facts.
I agree. I ain't nothing to defend here. I'm with you. I called a track when I made a video because I just noticed even in those 25, 26, 27 titles, there are duplicates and sometimes 3 versions of the same game. So you're right, D2. Jedi. Nintendo don't know what they're doing. Either they don't know what they're doing or they play good at pretending to not know. Something is going on.
But he even had the nerve, and I was listening to Black Bond's video talking about this. He mentioned that, you know, Miyamoto had the nerve to say that, oh, well, just because we haven't been public about what we're doing doesn't mean we're not working on these things and testing these things out. And he was like, what do you mean you're testing things out? This has been the standard since 2002, and we're about to go into 2020, and you still haven't figured out how to do online yet?
Facts.
All right,
Well,
they don't know.
Are you serious?
He is serious. This could be a question that we could bring on next time. But like, what would it hurt Nintendo to kind of like lighten up with their back catalog? They hold on to their back catalog. Mario 1, like it's the next thing since the best thing since sliced bread.
I think this is what's going on, Keith. Nintendo is in their mind, and maybe in some of the Nintendo fan, the extreme fanboy mind, Nintendo by giving out sparse and limited access to these things, to their IP, create this mindset that there's something tremendously great about it. Because we do it in such a sparse way, it's because it's so great, it justifies the actions. But to most of us, it's like that ain't the case. And I hope that they starting to see it, but they won't see it because they cleverly link it to something that, like linking it to the $20. They can argue that, well, somebody wanted because so many people spent the $20. Well, we had no choice if we wanted to play online. You know what I'm saying? We didn't do it because of these titles. We did it because you linked it to the online service. Had you separated the online, being able to play online, Mario Kart and all that, if that was still able to be played online minus this service, I doubt anybody would have bought this. I doubt a lot of folks would have bought this service. So Nintendo, to me, constantly put themselves in a position to lie to themselves. That's what I would say on it. Just like their games being evergreen. You know how many times we have argued about their games being evergreen, but when you really sit back and think about it, why are their games evergreen? You know?
So they're trying to make it like a Disney vault type of thing. Like,
yeah,
we're opening the vault.
Right. And that's that mindset lets them justify what they do to us, and then because this is all we left to, you kind of have to, in some ways, from our positions, feel like we have to acquiesce to it, you know. But it is crazy. It is crazy. But
one of the things I respect about Microsoft and what they did was they got legacy games. No, they haven't been in the industry as long, but they do have legacy games, and those legacy games are benefiting from the newer technology. You got these older games that they upscale with, you know, their technology that they're using. And I hate that about Nintendo. They want to release it in the condition that it was when they released it the first time. And it's like, dude, I don't want to play Ocarina of Time blurry. Like, up the resolution, do something like up the frames per second. Like, you have this newer technology. Like, you don't have to release it the same way that you released it 15, 20 years ago. You can do some new things, and they refuse to touch it, and then they try to sell it to you for about $7-10, like it was, you know, like close your vault. I don't care. I don't even care no more. Where your new stuff at?
I hope, and that's why I'm hoping that as more of these older mindsets start to kind of fade into obscurity and away from the mic. I was shocked to see Miyamoto. I'm gonna be honest. We honestly haven't heard nothing from this dude in a long time. I was so happy when he stopped being the face for Zelda. I was like, I'm glad to see a new face. Anuma, he has better ideas. When Anuma said he had to go back, like Miyamoto would come in and change stuff, and he had to come back in and go and take it back to what they had it. Like, I appreciated him saying it because it's testimonial of the fact that some of these dudes, even though they did so much great and they are brilliant minds, that don't mean they are needed for what's going on now. And you need some fresh ideas, some fresh takes. I think the Switch is successful because it didn't have much to do with Miyamoto. See what I'm saying? Like, it had younger minds and younger ideas behind that. Maybe Iwata was the visionary behind it, but I'm pretty sure the design of it was a younger idea. And some of the other stuff and the new faces is helping Nintendo. Hopefully they continue to cleanse themselves for some of these old what did the person say about Bernie Sanders? These stubborn old folks, get them out of there so you can get some fresh ideas in there, so that maybe the online will take on more of what online has been for the last decade and a half.
The online with Nintendo is a travesty.
Yeah.
Because you could, if Nintendo were to have literally copied what Microsoft did during the 360 era, it would have been a revolution. Or an even more an evolution in what they have ever provided us. And for them to do things like corny things, such as you provide this terrible online service, and then you try to get away with attaching like cloud saves to it. Like it's real. It's stuff that
It's
it's not
insulting.
it's
It's
not really
insulting,
typical
man.
in Nintendo, man. And it's like what everybody's talking about now, like with the legacy games and how they kind of either find a way to dig into your pockets every generation for you to buy this game for like the 50th time, or they attach it to an online service that is really not an online service that is worthy of the $20. Like, granted, in the scheme of things, $20 is insignificant, but the fact that they claim to provide a service and then have the audacity to try to save face is what makes it that bad, you know, or even worse. It's they don't get it. They don't get
They
it.
get it, but they know they can get away with it. That's what it is.
Yeah.
To be true. I mean, Jedi, they get it.
Well, they
just
only
been
have
able to get away with it.
Well, that clock is ticking.
It's exactly
Because if, like I said this before, we talked about the future of gaming in terms of streaming and how it fits into the whole picture. And I mentioned then that streaming has already been it's already a normalcy in every form of entertainment except for the gaming industry. We stream movies, we stream TV shows, we stream music, we stream everything else but video games. So that's the last domino to fall in all this. And if this wasn't a serious thing, you would not have seen Sony partner up with Microsoft, because there's no reason at all for them to have any business to do with Microsoft other than that. If they partnered with Microsoft, they did that because they know that this is where gaming is going and we need to get in or get out. And if Google Stadia can do what they claim it can do, if Project X Cloud can do what we think it can, because Microsoft really didn't tell us anything. If anything, E3 left more questions than answers. It's almost like they just took a big jigsaw puzzle and poured it on the floor and said, hey, put this together, and you don't know what the picture is supposed to be. But that's even what we think is going to be. If that works, I mean, obviously you're going to want to play your Marios and your Pokemons, your Animal Crossing, and your Smash Bros. and Metroid's coming out, and all that type of stuff.
Sorry to cut in, I'm gonna dip out.
Okay.
All right, y'all
All
take it easy.
All right. Yeah, see you later, Keith.
For sure.
Unless you're playing first-party Nintendo games, why do I have a Switch at that point? That's a huge if. It's a huge if. It's not. I'm not saying that's the way it's going to be. I'm saying it's a huge if on a very shaky ground. But if that if becomes reality and that ground becomes solidified, Nintendo is in very, very serious trouble.
They're gonna go the way of Sega.
Let me ask this, Jedi. What is your thoughts? And we won't take this too much longer. What is your thoughts on Stadia? And because we haven't heard from you and your thoughts about Stadia and cloud gaming and what Xbox is doing and what Sony has seemed to do with them to team up with them to address the cloud gaming situation. What's your thoughts on it?
It's experimental. From my understanding of Stadia, you have to get like the online service, but you still have to purchase the game like full price. And I don't personally like that. Why purchase a game full price to deal with lag, or any degree of lag because it's over a network, or purchase a game full price and can only play it when I have online availability. I don't think it's a terrible thing. I mean, outside of it just being Google, but that's my evil corp thing going on here. But I mean, outside of that, it's an experiment, and we all know that this is the direction that gaming is going. And these mega gaming companies such as Sony, Microsoft, and now Google, because we can't put Nintendo in that category, are trying to figure it out. I think that it's a good thing. Ironically, I was in Amsterdam about a week or two ago, and I played my first VR game for the first time, which, by the way, was great.
What was it?
I'm sorry?
What was it?
Oh, it was this plank game originally. Like you get on this elevator and it takes you up to the top of this the building, and then there's a plank in front of you.
No.
And bro, let me tell you, man. I remember sometime last year when K Bomb, I completely like hijacked the conversation or the topic, but let me just get this out. I need to
you
get
good. You good.
I remember like last year, K Bomb was telling me how he tried out Resident Evil 7, right? And I'm thinking like, yeah, that's crazy. That's cool. I played this little simple basic introductory game to VR. And I remember when I got to the top of the building, and as I got the headset on, I'm like in this VR gaming, spot, right? And the guy put the plank in front of my feet without me knowing, so he's telling me to step off of the building, and I feel the plank like in front of my foot, and bro, I know I'm in this VR store, but it felt so real, man. It only reminded me, I'm like, yo, damn, and K-Bomb was playing Resident Evil 7. I would have never done it, bro. I would have never done it. And
check this out. Oh, go ahead.
He's telling me to get on the plank and then to jump off of the building. I'm like, yo, bro, I'm not, I can't do it, and ultimately, my point is like this is the avenue that gaming is going in terms of gaming as a service and virtual reality, and it seems like Nintendo is not in that arena. They provided a Labo VR headset, and they didn't even give you a head attachment for you to keep it on your face. It's like they are so behind the times, man.
And they cheat. The problem is they cheat, man.
The statement actually was, we have not fallen behind with either VR or network services.
So he got snotty about it.
And then he said,
with network services, they definitely behind, but I believe it with the VR.
Then he said we worked on them from the very beginning and have been experimenting with them in a variety of ways. These are
like I said, I think it's bull. I call bull dive on the online services part, but the virtual reality, I do believe Nintendo is playing with some stuff with there, but not on the online service.
They dropped the ball with it, Level. The Nintendo Switch Lite, the screen, they shrunk it. It's not even compatible for VR headsets.
No, I'm not talking about anything related to the Switch. I'm saying behind the scenes, I do believe Nintendo is working on VR ideas. I ain't saying that's going to come to fruition with the Switch brand. I don't know. I'm just saying I agree
level.
No, I'm just saying
no. I'm not arguing against that point. I'm not arguing against that point. That's not what I'm trying to make. Point I'm trying to make is the fact that this grown man said we're not behind.
I'm already burnt him on that. I'm with you.
I'm talking with VR. With VR.
I don't know.
VR system has been released for years. And you're still playing?
Wait a minute. Hold up. Let me explain what I mean.
Okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Let me explain it. Miyamoto's statement is asinine, right?
Okay.
Asinine. It's bad, especially when it comes to online. As far as VR, I do believe that Nintendo does play with ideas around VR, and I don't believe VR is in a place to where the public is the I guess the base, the gaming base is fully realized for general release. Like I know the PlayStation VR is out, but it's not the best is not the best version of VR. And I know Microsoft have yet to show their hand in VR. So in that sense, I can give Miyamoto some space to say there's some truth there. I don't know. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying I can give him space, but definitely not online. But that's just my position.
Well, it is. To be fair, you know, Nintendo was experimenting with VR way back with the Virtual Boy.
That's what I'm
saying. You can't say that. Well, they may have been in back rooms somewhere just tossing around VR concepts, never really serious about doing anything with it, just messing around with it.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But Miyamoto is tripping, and like D2K said, it was definitely salt there, and I ain't giving him no pass. I just said I can see some truth to the VR aspect. Definitely not the online. That was just a bunch of bull. They ain't working on no online, because if they were, we would have it. But going back to Jedi with the virtual reality, I don't know if you was on. Me and K-Bon went to one of his boys' house when I was up in his way a few years back, and this is my first virtual reality experience. And that's when I came to the podcast. Like, dude, it's real. This is the real McCoy. We was playing this game, and it was just demos. And one was it take you up on a high skyscraper, and you standing on the ledge, and you're not there, but your mind won't allow you to take confidence in that reality that this is fake. Your mind is telling you, and your body is tensing up as if you are standing on the edge. You can feel your stomach rolling and getting lightheaded. And I was like, man, I know I'm on the floor, but why am I feeling like I started sweating? But the one that got me Jedi Knight, and it literally punked me out, was you standing in this corridor, and you can hear this growling, this loud growl. And I don't know how K-Bun played Resident Evil virtual reality. It must have been because it's on the PlayStation 4 and it wasn't really simulating the experience, right? Anyway, we won't go into that. We won't make that up. But I threw some shade at you, K-Bun.
I saw that. I'm just gonna dust my shoulders off.
But we standing in this corridor, and the dude tell me, his friend that's supposed to jump on the podcast at some point, tell me, don't just stand there, just stand there, look around and get comfortable with the experience, and ask me all these questions. Are you comfortable? And is the sound right? He was setting me up. Man, this T-Rex comes around the
corner. I remember that.
Bro, it had me so paralyzed and shook. I literally forgot I had got the VR on, and I tried to cover my eyes, and I put my hand on the VR set and lost it. And I had to take it off to kind of to remind myself that this is not real. And I put it on, and this mug is growling, and his saliva coming from his mouth is intimidating, and it's got this. I'm like, man, and it walked through me, and I was like, dude, I cannot do this. I can see people losing their mind. So I know what you're talking about, man. That's a real experience.
Do you see how we sat here for the past 3 to 5 minutes and talked about our experiences, individual experiences with virtual reality, and sharing that? And I can tell that as one person talked, the other people were probably sitting back just smiling, because they can kind of relate based on their own personal experiences. And this is why I'm so upset at Nintendo. The reason, here's my real reason. I love the Nintendo Switch, the concept of it. I don't mind the reduced visuals of the game. I think the package was absolutely phenomenal. I remember when we were in the Nintendo NX days, and then this Switch was announced, I was like, yo, dude, no, they didn't just do this. And then I got it, and I'm like, yo, I understand, right? Now just imagine this, fellas. Instead of them doing a Nintendo Switch Lite, they would have done a Nintendo Switch VR. They would have gave you the same size Nintendo Switch, They would have updated it, the X1 chip with the Kato, I think D2K said the name of the new chip.
Miracle.
The Miracle chip gave you, instead of that 720p screen, right? They would have gave you a 1080p screen and then flooded the Nintendo Switch library, gaming library, with virtual reality games that you can play on a slightly more powerful. It didn't have to be the Switch Pro version, right?
Right.
It can just be an upgraded Switch, but for virtual reality to introduce it. So you can remove the HD rumble that nobody essentially. I mean, it's good tech, but you didn't support the tech, so nobody cares about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So remove that, give us the 1080p screen, and then you got virtual reality in everybody's hands while at the same time not limiting their library by not being able to buy certain games without buying the Joy-Cons again. And mind you, with the Nintendo Switch Lite, even if you buy the Joy-Cons, you can't hook it up to your television. So you're going to be playing 1-2 Switch or, Mario Party on a 5-inch screen. It's not practical, man. They dropped the ball on this. You could have given everyone a $200, maybe $250, because they probably wouldn't have reduced it $100 if it was like this version. But maybe $250, and you could have given everybody the opportunity to have that entire back catalog of what they currently have for the Switch, and then introduce the world to virtual reality, while all of the other, console companies have to now give you a completely new console, home console, and have to sell you a headset. Everything was already packaged. It upsets me because they are squandering this opportunity with the Switch. They're squandering it, bro.
Yeah.
So one thing I will hop in here and to say, and I will I'll protect Nintendo from that thought. The thing is that people are understanding and learning with virtual reality is that you need high resolution to prevent motion
sickness.
Like you have to have that, and that's what now the like the Oculus and the Vive, what they're doing is they're going 4K with a 2K in both eyes, I believe. So they have a 4K display, and I think each eye it has a 2K display with it. And they said the higher the resolution you go, the less likely you are to suffer from the motion sickness, and that's why PlayStation pushes the Pro for virtual reality, because then they can, get better resolution out of the goggles to prevent the motion sickness, and it's less, and it's the frame rate keeps up better with the Pro, which also helps with the motion sickness. So if you're doing a lesser system, you do have to take that consideration. That's why the phones never went anywhere, because of the lower resolution and how you're going to make everyone throw up.
Two things about that. One, I think it has a lot to do with the intensity, graphical fidelity of the games that you're using. If it's like you look at the games that they are showing you, the little Labo VR on the Switch, these are pretty simple looking games, and it's not something that's really. I haven't heard anybody complaining about motion sickness or queasiness playing the little VR stuff on the Nintendo Labo stuff. So we know Nintendo they don't play in that arena of the photorealistic or intensive graphics. So I'm pretty sure they can dumb things down to where they can offer higher resolution in certain games they make, certain VR games they make, that wouldn't be an issue. And also,
I didn't even think about that. You're right, Jed. They games are ideal for, because they don't focus on realism. You're right. I didn't think about that.
And also, there was a patent that was filed by Nintendo maybe a year or so ago, maybe a little bit lower, for VR. And in this patent, I think it said in this patent that they were planning on it being what K-Bob just said, the 2K resolution in each eye. give you a 4K resolution in it. Now I don't know if Nintendo makes patents all the time and they don't do anything with it. They just do it like keep away. All companies do it, but it is interesting to note that patent is out there filed by Nintendo.
Let me shoot this shout out to the Trigger Man. Welcome to the show. And to answer your question, it is an automatic failure on the Switch Lite to not support Bluetooth in 2019, and that is an absolute yes. Yes, it is a failure.
I didn't even know that, bro.
Nintendo, like I said, on the online part, Miyamoto has been absolutely disingenuous. On the virtual reality, I can give him some pass, only because Microsoft hasn't shown their hand when it comes to virtual reality, and even though the PlayStation has the VR headset, I still feel like it's still work to be done there, and maybe they will solve it with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox SCRALETT. Maybe that's why Microsoft hasn't revealed it, because they understood that, hey, to make it like D2K said and what K-Bum said earlier, to really get it at its best place is to have 4K. So with those systems targeting 4K, that might be where we will see Microsoft's VR attempt. And we might see where Sony blows out the VR even more so with the PlayStation 5. And at that point, Nintendo really is going to have to show their hand, because this kind of hovering behind everybody and picking up where everybody left off, and they picking up there and kind of, you know, going in and renovating the old mansions and houses that everybody left, and they kind of renovate and be like, hey, this is nice. When Microsoft and Sony making brand new mansions, Nintendo only going to be able to do that for so much longer, you know, because Stadia and other things are going to change that, and the landscape going to change so bad that Nintendo really had to come with a whole different approach. You know, when devices become computers and streaming services, and it ain't a device no more, that's when I believe Nintendo really gonna have to and kind of D2K was kind of talking about this, Nintendo will have to start preparing themselves for a deviceless gaming space. And so in that sense, yeah, they behind, and hopefully they working on it. I ain't defending them. I've been telling them that, you know, this is, you know, a lot of stuff that Nintendo do don't make sense to me, and it ain't no defending it. I don't care to defend them because I don't get no money from it. So you know, I'm tired of the old heads. I'm ready for them to go. I hate it. You know, I didn't want Iwata to leave like he did, but I felt like Miyamoto, Reggie, and all of them, it's time for them to leave and get some new faces in there. And hopefully these new faces bring new ideas, with new ideas bring proactiveness and not reactive activity. So anything else anybody want to say before we get out of here?
I would like to see some more Nintendo games. You know, I feel like it's kind of stale. I mean, it doesn't even have to be a new IP. There's old IPs that we haven't seen in like a decade. So I feel like I was kind of like not anti-Nintendo, but I'm very down on Nintendo this podcast. I'll be better next week.
You gave them both barrels today.
Yeah, man. That Lite, it made me feel some type of way when I seen that.
It made a lot of people feel some ways. It's been some complaints. Some I feel like was overboard and overdone. Your complaint, I get it. It, you know, you are taking out the thing that makes it what it is. You took that out, and there were probably better uses of the money that they could have done. Like, did we really? This is why I get, and K-Bum might not have saw it, but this is why I agree with K-Bum. Did we really need the Switch Lite? No, we don't, because the Switch Lite does nothing that the Switch can't already do. So from that angle, I'm with you. Are there people out there that's going to buy the Switch Lite? Most definitely. But I would like to see Nintendo do better stuff with the money that the Switch has gained for them and the money they already have. Nintendo ain't broke. So it don't make any sense for the online to be the way it is, and even the power level of the Switch to be what it is. I'm pretty sure they could have paid NVIDIA to make a chip that would get even better performance that could hang with PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Nintendo got the money to do that. Why they're not doing it, I don't understand. And I just call them they cheap. That's what I believe. Nintendo is cheap, and they get away with being cheap, and they've made cheap their motto.
Yeah, they become the biggest gaming company in the world based on cheap.
Being cheap.
I can't knock them on it though. Can't knock them.
No.
That's how millionaires and billionaires at. They hold on to their money.
That's
right.
Fact.
So they're pushing things forward, but not things that they could push forward. And Microsoft and Sony is kind of working on that while Nintendo is working on, like, they was talking about trying to make the next generation controller. I'm like, bro, like,
look, see, that's the whole mentality that needs to go away. They just constantly keep trying to reinvent the wheel. Just give me the next gen wheel.
I have to kind of, depending on what they do. Nintendo may be onto something. It kind of goes back to virtual reality. One of the things that I did notice, I was playing a game, I think it was called Arizona Sunrise. It was like a zombie game.
Yeah, zombie
VR.
game you're shooting. Yeah.
Bro, the interface, the controllers that I was holding, the game forces you to have like this realistic interaction with it, where you grab the pistol or the rifle, and then you have to like grab bullets and load the gun, and then but the interface is not there yet to do those things. And if Nintendo, talking about controllers, if they can fix that interface with VR, then in that respect, they're on to the in the right direction, because the interface in some games that I played, it's not there yet. The believability when you put the headset on, it kind of messes with you, because it's like, wow, I clearly know that this is not real, but it's literally tricking me. But depending on the game that you play, the interface is terrible.
Yeah.
But see, I don't see that is where they're coming from when they come from when they're talking about the next gen controller. I don't see them as related to virtual reality, but just as console gaming is considered, or maybe even mobile gaming.
Oh yeah, that was just a wish upon a star. We all know this.
My thing is this. This is what kind of, as someone who's not a big Nintendo fan, I don't know
really
if truly.
Yeah.
I don't know if they truly understand, but the creations of their joystick keep certain people away, because it is hard to go from the muscle memory of a PlayStation Xbox controller and then hop into a GameCube controller. All that muscle memory is for naught.
Right.
It is
Did y'all watch the video? Did you watch the video where I was saying that I was at my in-laws and they was playing NBA 2K19 on the Switch? One of the issues they had was, Nintendo flips the B and the A.
Yes,
so,
I said that on Twitter, actually, and the video game her actually responded to me about that.
Yeah, like they was like having a hard time. Like, why? And they said it like, why did Nintendo always got to be different?
Well, I mean, to be fair, they had that button scheme first.
Yeah, I know.
But the other way has become so standard that
right.
You can't. When you go back to playing Nintendo, it's like, wait a minute, you're pressing X when you want to press Y. You're pressing B, you want to press A. It's just, and if you think about it, going from the N64 to the GameCube to the Wii to the Wii U to the Switch, you've had to relearn controls every single time.
You do. You're right.
And you shouldn't have to do that. I mean, it's okay to have tweaks, but they just completely redesigned how you play games every single generation, and they don't want to stick with anything and just improve what they had the previous generation.
I'm with, and Alex said something. I agree. If they didn't try to be different, we wouldn't have the Switch. I agree to that.
No, I don't agree. The Switch was not their, well, let's say the hybrid console was not their concept. They were just in the fix. They needed something. And they said, oh, okay, NVIDIA, you got this NVIDIA Shield. Nobody cares about it. we can take our new Joy-Con technology, slap that on your hybrid console technology, and we'll run with it. So, they didn't come up with this idea, it would be cool if we could take your games in the go. They saw it work, they saw it somewhere else, and they said, we can do this better.
I think the Wii U was different. It just didn't work. And then, of course, the Switch is an evolution or what the Wii U, like you said, DK, the Wii U should have been.
Right.
And I agree. They willingness to be different do introduce some good things. Like, I think motion controls and all that was great. But Nintendo doesn't go the full mile with it. You can't give me a new controller and then skimp on power, because now you limit the Wii controller. The Wii controller should have been married to the Wii U's power. We should have got the Wii U power when the Wii controller came out. Right. That way, it forced the industry to go with you rather than let Microsoft and PlayStation keep the traditional controller with the power, and the third parties have the power there to do and realize their vision, when Nintendo has a device that's great, but a hardware that's limited, that you can't really tap into the power or the new capability of the controller. And I think that's when Nintendo misses it. You give us great ideas with limited hardware, whereas Sony and Microsoft trying to give you great hardware, but they may not try to expand on the controller, but they're giving you hardware that the vision can be realized. Nintendo, I think they don't go the full mile. If they just give you great hardware with this creative controller, Nintendo might be too much to deal with.
Well, go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna say I partially agree with that. When the Wii came out, that was my full introduction to Call of Duty. A lot of people got into Call of Duty on the 360, the PS3. Mine was on the Nintendo Wii because of the immersion of the the pointer, the nunchuck, and the Wiimote.
Right,
dude. To this day, I've never been able to be as good or as entertained with playing shooters on a standard controller. The Nintendo Wii days is by far, for me personally, the golden era of online shooters. And I didn't care about the graphics. But what I will say in regards to the graphics, or to power in particular, the Nintendo Switch changed that for me, because I seen games like Doom or Wolfenstein run on an X1 chip. It's what Nintendo needs to do is to establish their own studios, and to put out the games that the other studios are not putting out on their console. If they're gonna be this unique, then they have to support that uniqueness. And a lot of times that's not what they do. And what ends up happening is us Nintendo fans or Nintendo supporters end up either losing out on those games, losing out on Uncharted's, or having to now buy
two systems.
And you shouldn't have to do that. If these other systems are gonna have the Tomb Raiders and the Uncharted's, then you're gonna have to bring something to the table to let us to know that our investment and the money was well spent on this investment. If you're gonna be different, then you're gonna have to have creators creating sports games for your consoles. We don't get baseball, we don't get basketball, we don't get football, we don't get anything on the Nintendo console, and that's not EA's fault. EA can do whatever they want, though we call EA, names in regards to their practices. At the end of the day, Nintendo has the funds. We hear Microsoft spending all of this money to either buy studios or create studios, and we can't even get a 2D Mario and a 3D Mario in the same year. It's just
you can't be cheap and innovative.
It's crazy. Exactly.
Innovation.
You got to support the innovation.
Right.
You can't create the HD Rumble and then in your very next iteration basically omit the HD Rumble. It's right. You giving mixed signals.
You can't give us the remote nunchuck with this advanced control scheme and give us standard definition. And it doesn't entice because Nintendo ain't going to put forth the effort to make the games that really is going to sell the device. Like like they did hit like a utopian moment with Wii Sports. I give them that. But could you imagine if Nintendo had gave us a system that was equivalent to the Xbox 360 with the Wiimote Nunchuck Pro?
It would have been amazing. I would have never left my house.
Right. And so you would have got all those games. You would have got all those games that was coming to the PlayStation 3s and the Xbox 360. Plus, Nintendo games would have looked better. Zelda would have looked like Zelda could have looked. Mario would have looked, even though the games look great. Just imagine what they could have looked like at that time. Nintendo would still be, and this ain't a Nintendo podcast. It's just, focus. Well, it is a Nintendo focused show. But the point is, Nintendo can't be cheap and innovative. You can't do both. Innovation takes. You got to go to the utmost with it. You got to gamble even on being more powerful. You got to give power with the innovation, in my opinion. And Nintendo is cheap, and it's like, bro. Like the Wii U, you went cheap. You had a dope system, but you decided to go cheap and limited on how much RAM it had and all that. And you went with cheap plastic and the controller was cheap. But what if you went all out with the design of the Wii U? Would you have need to make a switch? No, you wouldn't have, because people would have been in. You should have had a OLED control and screen and all that. You should have went that way and forced people to pay for it.
True,
but they went cheap,
and people would have.
And I'm sorry, DJ, go ahead.
Just said people would have. People pay $400 for the PlayStation 4. As a lot of people complained about, people did pay $500 for the Xbox One when it first came out. So they would have paid $350 or for a Wii U that had power on the level of the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. They definitely would have did that.
So anyway. We moving into almost 2.5 hours. Anything else y'all want to say before we get out of here?
Mario.
I'm glad you stuck it out, man. All this Nintendo talk. But anyway, I want to appreciate all you guys in the comment section. Alex Prime. Who else is here? Slim Zim.
Slim.
I said Sim Zim, right? Didn't I say that?
You said Slim Jim.
All right. Well, Slim Zim, Bad Latency. Who else is up in here? Dark. The Truth.
Alex.
I said Alex Prim.
Okay, my bad.
Who else? Who else in here? I'm trying to get everybody.
Phoenix
Star 5000 up in here. Blue Boat. Yeah, Blue Boat was in here.
Yeah, Blue Boat.
All you guys, man, appreciate y'all stopping through and keeping us company. I'm gonna let these dudes sign it out, starting with Jedi Knight.
Yeah, it's much appreciated, man. It's been a long time, man. It's always good to get up with you guys and talk that talk. I definitely needed to get this off my chest for sure.
Yeah. Dude, it's like you ain't miss a beat, man.
Sure didn't.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, I mean, it comes natural when we all together, man. So it's never missing a beat, man. It's when I'm on, it's like, you're home, you with fam.
I appreciate that. K-Bomb.
Yeah. Oh, my bad.
Sign out, bro.
That's cool. I'm coming, bro. Let me
ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
How much do you play that Switch you have over there?
So they
don't answer that. Don't get in trouble. Don't answer that.
I'll answer. No, my little niece done lost my Breath of Wild game. I can't find it.
She lost Zelda?
She lost. I don't know where it's at.
Did you ever end Zelda?
I didn't end The Witcher. No, I haven't ended Zelda.
Okay.
The cooking, man, it just killed me. So I do have a GameFly game out there. I got Mario Tennis. So I've played it a little bit. I got to get back into it and play it a little bit more. But I do have it. I play some of the online games because I have online for free. Thanks Amazon Prime. Appreciate it. So I play it every now and then, but it doesn't. Well, put it like this: I play it more than my Xbox. That is the absolute truth.
Dude, that's sad. I finally actually played like maybe 5 minutes of that Xbox yesterday because my TV was acting up and I was testing it. My man cave TV, my son be down here doing stuff, and it's still a projector screen, so it doesn't work. You know, it's a Mitsubishi 65-inch rear projector, so I had to come down here and see it. He said the light was going out, and it wasn't. It was just probably was pushing the button too much and caused it to overheat or something. But I end up playing the Xbox for 5 minutes, man, and end up turning it off. I ain't missed nothing. But anyway, I guess I'll sign out for me and D2K. But yeah, I'm glad all y'all guys tuned in. Hopefully y'all tune in to the next time. I don't know if we're gonna do Thursday or Sunday. It depends on how our schedules fall. If Jedi Night is open for next Sunday and everybody can make it, I'm down for next Sunday or Thursday. It doesn't matter to me. I figure this out behind the scenes, and y'all will know when we post what we're gonna do. Till next time, folks. Deuces. Peace.